I am the only person in history that I know of that told Easy Rider to go fuck yourself. I don't want my bike in your magazine. Mm-hmm. True story. That did not work well out for me. Wasn't my fault.
So it's all together, but that's not the one that's in the truck right now. But I had to, the guy on Craigslist that I bought it from, that's not true.
Go with Craig.
Was he Middle Eastern? Was he Middle Eastern?
No, he was Russian. They can get anything.
That was a cool look back then. Don't be breaking my balls.
I need a drink now, you guys.
Two guys that I know that if I put a silver dollar out on the racetrack, they could find it at 200 miles an hour and hit it, okay? Biggest difference, Bill Elliott could tell you if it was heads or tails. Jeff Gordon would stop, pick it up, put it in his pocket, and go invest it.
Beach assault, because I'm on a scuba team, and we come up on this beach, and it's a nude beach, and there's chicks everywhere.
About an audition for the Detroit Pistons dance team, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Oh my God, you got all the pictures.
You're right down. You're down in the bottom, right?
I thought I had all this deleted.
How'd that happen?
Well,
Shag
was
he's looking like he
There
heard.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's probably
I'm
hearing
sure
you.
I'm sure he's listening.
The norm.
People turned our show off and felt better about their dysfunction. I'm serious.
How'd you like to make $5 the hard way?
Literally the most professional podcast I've ever done.
Money's on the dresser.
All right, everybody. This week, we've got Wayne Carini. But next week, we have Shorty, because we haven't talked to Shorty in a while, and we haven't talked to Wayne in 2 years. So we figured, you know what? We know Shorty has a show. We know Wayne's always going to shows. Wayne's getting in trouble. I heard he wrote a book. So that's going to be huge comedy to talk about. So we just figured, you know what? We're going to get him on there, get caught up. You know, he's been the Grand Marshal of the Boca Raton, you know, Concours, the Elegance. It's Wayne Carini stuff. And if it wasn't for him in my world, I wouldn't know nothing going on. So we're going to go to a commercial. Then me and John are going to talk. And then we're going to bring in the one, the only Wayne Carini. So did you guys know that Amsoil is the corporate entity, and then they have independent dealers who sell their products? So here's the thing. We called up Nick at syntheticadvantage.com. And we said, Nick, we're doing a sticky green love machine, and we don't want it to be so sticky. And he said, guys, I got you. And he sent us engine oil, right? So we've got all the fluids we need to get the sticky green love machine not so sticky. But something I really want to tell you guys about, because this is truly important. Amsoil makes antifreeze. And the thing about Amsoil and their antifreeze, it's kid and pet friendly. I'm not saying mix it with vodka and feed it to your 2-year-old. I'm saying it ain't gonna kill them or your pets if they get a couple licks of it. Amsoil, as far as I know, they're the only ones doing that. Check them out, syntheticadvantage.com. Tell Nick Lou sent you. Yeah. John.
You're the floating head. Lou. He's a genie. Put your jacket back on. It's like an old 80s music video.
Max Headroom, remember?
Yeah, that's go back. for sure. Right. Floating big head.
So, dude,
Ah.
what's happening? I saw the
Same.
pictures you posted on the Sticky Green Love Machine. What's going on?
I got the front seats back. They look pretty badass. It's actually
oh God.
Right.
Oh,
he did a real nice that seat is actually huge. It looks small in that picture, but it's a 64.
oh yeah, I know it's
wide,
big. It's a 64 pallet bucket seat. They're huge, man.
Yeah. Did a nice job. He cleaned up the chrome. It almost looks like he had it done. Looks fantastic. I put the brackets in. The Classic Industries sent over to put the buckets, converted from a bench to buckets. Put the Dynamat in it, sound deadener. What else I'm doing? Yeah, I got the underside looking half decent. You can see the chain wheels in.
Yep.
I got the holes cut in the door there for the speakers. I think I have about 3 sets of 6x9s that could fit in there. That's the front. I should have actually got Classic Industries to send me 2 fenders because it was rough. You know, I mean, it's bad. But I got the metal work done. I got to go over it again tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, whatever, and dial it in. There you go. But we got Bobby Bueller is doing the motor. I'm guessing that'll be done probably next month. We got Nick, the Amsoil guy, coming on, talk about the product and giving Bobby some breaking in oil and things.
Yeah.
There's Nick.
Cool.
But so far, so good.
Won't be ready for power tour, right?
It's going to be close.
Got
a lot of stuff's back ordered. Trailing arms and things, high performance stuff is back ordered. They keep telling you anytime, any week, anything, right. But things are back ordered, and it's been on order since December. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I got the console, the SS console, which I almost feel bad about wrapping it in fur because it's brand new. Classic sent that over.
It's all right. It's wrapped in fur. It's okay.
I know. I'm going to hack it up. It's going to be bad. All right, whatever. Right. So outside of that, it's getting there. It's slow, but there's a couple things hold me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all right.
What do you got going on? What's going on with you?
Well, I was in timeout at school. I think I told you that. And it looks like I'm going to go back to work on the 20th. And tomorrow I've got a job interview at 9:00 in the morning at Rush Truck Center. I want to learn how to straighten rig frames, big rigs. I've always wanted to learn how to do that because I worked on all that stuff for so long. I never had the opportunity to do that. And they have a frame shop, and I'm gonna go down there and talk to him. I talked to the general manager and I talked to the guy in charge of the frame shop. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not looking for another career. I just want to learn how to do it because I'll be 60 years old in May and I just want something to do. And, I told him, I said, I had major back surgery and I just, I need something to do. I don't want to putt around the house yet. And he said, all right, so I'm going tomorrow to talk to them. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I got to see what it entails. I mean, I know if there's a lot of heavy lifting, I'm not going to do it. But I need to go see. So
sounds like there's going to be,
Yeah. And he said, he told me, he goes, I got a guy in the shop with 35 years and he wants to retire. And I just hired 6 guys and they're all green. So, maybe there's a place where, I can figure it out. I've just never done it. I'm sure it's hydraulic rams and presses and shit like that. It's just a little bit different than a car, but not much.
Yeah.
So I'll see. I'll know more tomorrow. So next week I should have something to report.
There you go. So what do they actually do? They do collision work? What do you straighten?
Yeah, they do. They have a body shop and they do collision work. And I do know, just from seeing it over the years, I do know like they'll put hydraulic cylinders between the rails, and they can put it out if they want to
power.
They got to anchor the frame, and then they can pull it in with come-alongs and all that, and chain binders and all that kind of stuff. And I actually watched a video last night. I found one by accident. These guys had a they were in Russia, but they had like this giant C clamp with a cylinder on it, and they would literally like if it was a dimple up, they would literally press it back down with this giant C clamp, and it had a hydraulics, and they were hanging it from the ceiling, an overhead crane setup. That's how heavy it is. And I was like, yeah, I mean, just watching that one video, I was like, I could figure that out.
Yeah,
I know enough about framework to do it. So
yeah,
I just want something to do.
Yeah.
So, and I just got back from Gulfport, Mississippi, Monday night at 8. A friend of mine got married, Vinny. So we went down there for that, drove down there. Other than that, man, it's just taking it easy. Yeah. March 10th is a year. March 10th is a year since the back surgery. And
I went fast. It's been 2 years since Wayne's been on.
I know. And
I
feel great.
I'm opening up my bottle.
Opening up a new bottle?
Christmas. Yeah, that's Ron sent me this stone, the dude from
You're slacking. That's your Christmas present. You're slacking.
I know. Yeah.
Mine's already gone.
I drank all this. So now
mine's already gone. So
is it?
Well, look, let's get the Carini on here. Let's get him in here. And
all right.
Because he's got stuff to talk about.
I know.
All right, Ken, there he is.
Hey,
Wayne.
Lou.
What are you doing?
Lou.
So what's
I'm
going
getting
on,
liquored up.
Wayne?
John, I got to tell you, first time I met Lou was at SEMA, and I hear this scream from across the room. Wayne.
Nah.
And he jumps around. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wayne Carini, the one and only. And I'm going, who is this guy? Then wait a minute. Then he asked me to go to lunch. He says, all right, I got to find out more about you. Come on, let's go have lunch. So we went downstairs into the lunch area. We get in line, and I get in the salad line. Of course, Lou gets in the double burger line. And he's standing there, he's talking to some guys. So I sit down at a table and I get the table, and he pulls up with this big entourage of guys, and they're talking and stuff. And so they get up and leave. And I said, oh man, how long have you known those guys? He said, I just met him in the line over there. I never met him in my life.
That's the way Lou is.
They were John, the best buddies forever.
Yeah, that's the way he rolls.
Yeah. He's
something else, isn't it?
He's something else, is right.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
So maybe you take some of that extra fur from your seat and we could put it on his head.
There you go.
I could glue it on.
We
could glue it all kinds of colors.
So Wayne, I've been shaving and I've said this before on the show. I've been shaving my head since '78, right?
Yeah.
And when I went in the military, every now and then I grow hair, but not very often. So when I retired, I was like, you know what? I need to see, let me see how gray my hair is. It's not gray. It's gone.
It's so gray. It disappeared.
Exactly. It's just gone.
My hair turned white when I turned 40, almost to the day. I lost my eyesight and my hair turned white. And I went to a class reunion, and one of my girls in my class said, Wayne, you've gotten so blonde. I said, no, It's white. It really is. So that's been since 40. That's been a long time ago.
Wayne, last time you were on, you had a Cadillac CTSV wagon.
Yeah, I still have it.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still have it. It's got
values of.
It's got 9,200 miles on it.
Oh my God!
It's sweet. It's sweet.
Is it a stick?
And then
I don't remember. Was it a stick?
Yeah, stick.
Oh my God, that's rare.
So I got to tell you, I've been jonesing to go 200 miles an hour at Bonneville. So I think it was maybe
we talked
after.
about it. We talked about it last time.
Okay, so we blew the transmission up on the I've owned the Jimmy Shine, Tony Thacker 32 Ford.
Right.
And Bill Warner, the founder of the Amelia Island Concours, was my co-driver. He went out first and popped the gearbox, shifted it into fifth, and it just went to neutral, and it ate the whole gearbox up. So now we put a new Atlas gearbox in it now. We're ready to get going. And then I figured out there's an easier way to go 200. So what I've done is I've ordered an Audi RS6 Avant station wagon. with the carbon brake package, it'll do 195 out of the box.
No way.
Yeah. So we'll get a way tweak it to go like 210.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to get everybody I know that wants to go 200. We're going to get in a wagon. We're going to go up to Loring, Maine. We're going to get a dog to sit in there with us. We're going to get it full of luggage. We're going to turn the air on and the radio on, and we're going to go 200 miles an hour. And
when?
Then, I don't know. As soon as my station wagon comes in, I ordered it about 2 months ago.
I am in.
And then I'm gonna have hats in the back, and we'll just get everybody a 200-mile-an-hour hat. You know, Carini.
Well, and we got to put it, and you got to put everybody in a book. You got to get like a composition notebook, and just do a Wayne's 200-mile-an-hour club, and everybody's name goes in it.
We fortunately didn't go last year because the salt was really bad. It rained.
Right.
You know, Poteet went out last year, and lucky they had their car in their trailer because a lot of guys that just had them, you know, in a pit area, they got flooded the cars. So,
yeah.
But you were talking about your Chevy earlier, and I don't know if everybody can see it, but does anybody recognize that car?
Yep, that's George's car.
That's George's car.
Yeah.
Well, look at the sign in the background. It's no longer George's car; it's Wayne's car.
Oh.
So that's the Troy Trepanier built Talladega Torino. After Bonneville, well, that was 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, I went out to see George to buy a Starliner coupe, a 61 Starliner, 401 horsepower. And
what color was that Starliner?
It's black.
I've seen
it's right.
pictures of that one.
It's right over there, just
I've
over
seen
to my
pictures
right
of that
in
one.
my
It's a gorgeous
garage.
car.
And so I went to buy that car. I ended up buying 5 cars. And one of them was that Talladega. I was walking out the door and I said, "When are you going to sell me that, George?" And he said, "Sit down, let's talk." And 5 minutes later, I own that too. Wow. So I sold 3 of the cars, and I've got the Starliner and I've got the Talladega. So Talladega is pretty cool. Sweet.
It is sweet. I've seen it. I saw that car when it was in bare metal. It's a good looking car.
That's a great car. Yeah,
that's a good looking car. Yeah. That's a guy. You know,
the V-Wagon worth?
The V-Wagon, probably $100,000 now.
Yeah, it's probably what those miles. Probably more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, more probably. I mean, it's
black. What's it? A 14? What year is it?
14 last year. Black interior, Alcantara, and then I put 22-inch wheels on it. And they're like a gray color, and it had the yellow calipers. I just couldn't stand that, so I painted those like gray too. So it's real sedate, really a cool car. I don't drive it much.
How many did they make? I know they only made like 2,800.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I lucked out.
Probably about 800, or if not, somebody has to Google that. Wagons and stick shift if you can for 14. Cadillac CTSV wagon.
I love it.
That's rare.
Yeah,
really rare.
That's a great car. It's got. I love the look of that. You know, that edgy look that Cadillac has had. And I was at on a panel the other day with the designer of Cadillacs, and they, you know, he was telling how that all came from the 60 Cadillac, you know, with the edgy fins on it. Mm-hmm. That's how it's all started, with that edgy look.
Yeah, it's a good looking car. I just got an 11 coupe. And coupes are rare. It's I think there's 2,800 of them in 11.
You got the exhaust coming out the center.
Yeah,
it
does.
Yeah, that's a cool car.
Yeah, same drivetrain and all that. Yours is sticks. No matter what, in a V's, the sticks really bumps it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I want one of those wagons so bad. God, I'll have to get my print and press going so I can get.
I wanted one so bad, and so I came home from a trip of filming the TV show, and I walked in the shop, and there's the car, the black CTSV wagon. And I said to my salesman, I said, "Where'd that come from?" He says, "Oh, a doctor dropped it off this morning. He wants us to sell it for him on consignment." I said, "How much does he want?" And he told me, and I called the doctor up. I said, "You just sold your car, pal."
Yeah.
No quibbling. I'm not going to argue about price at all.
Damn.
Yeah. The last couple of years, they've really gone up in value. I mean, they've jumped up. So, yeah, I think 2 or 3 years ago it was probably 60, 65. Now it's probably over 100, probably 110.
Yeah,
that's got to be one of the lowest mileage in the country.
Yeah, every once in a while they'll pop up 7,000-8,000 miles, you know, and then on rare and unusual colors. A blue one just sold for, I don't know, 100, 105, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something else, isn't it?
They're a cool car, that's for sure.
That is so cool.
Wait, was there ever a time when you look back and you thought to yourself, I wish I would have bought that? You skipped over something?
All the time. All the time, you know. I mean, it happens quite often. You know, you go to an auction and you one more bid, you could have had the car, and you go, nah, I don't need the car, and then you kick yourself later. I was at the RM auction down in Amelia Island this past weekend, and there was a 55 T-Bird F-Code supercharged car, black
rare.
dog dish hubcaps, red interior, black hardtop, just a cool car. I went up to 125 because I think that's probably a good value for that car. It sold for 200 at the Hammer.
Wow.
Damn.
So, well, way out of my league for that.
But
go ahead.
You know, there's certain cars right now. People ask me all the time, you know, what car should I buy for the future? I think 65 Mustang GT fastbacks right now. If you can find a K-Code GT fastback, that's really nice. That's a winner, because GT 350s have climbed so much. Thank God, because I have one. I'm okay with it because I already have one of those.
Yeah.
But you know, they're 450, 550 for GT 350. So that to me makes a regular GT fastback a K-Code car, which is a 270 horse car. That's, you know, that's probably 100 to 100 and a quarter. So, you know, and there's very few that were made GTs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guys added all the stuff, you know. All you need is the gauge pack and the exhaust tips out of the back, different grill. But and then you can make the horsepower, you know, that's easy. Shelby, you know, took a 270 horse, made it into a 306, which was really like a 340 horse. My car's got dual quads on it, and it hauls.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite cars to drive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wayne, out of the new stuff that's less than 5 years old, what do you look at and say to yourself, you know, like the Ford GT, the race car that came out years ago in 06, 05, they took off. They never went down in value. They were like 150, 155 out of the box from the dealer. You could have picked it up. Now they're, I don't know, 400, 500 grand, depending on the miles. Is there something that you look at now and say, yeah, that is going to be a great investment, even though it's less than 5 years old?
Well, low production cars. I had a Ford GT, so I bought it when it came out. I bought it from my friend Herb Chambers, and I don't keep cars I don't like, and not that I didn't like it. I'm very claustrophobic, and I got in that thing, and it had that center speaker.
Yeah.
And then I felt so enclosed in that car. I mean, it was almost like I couldn't drive it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I came back to the shop, and I think I ended up, you know, with 150 miles on it at the end, and I sold it. Matter of fact, I sold it back to Herb. He said, geez, you know, I got all my good customers wanting cars, and I sold that one to you. Let me have it back. And so I gave it back to him.
What color was it?
It was blue with a white stripe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I buy on the Heritage way back because they were like a couple dollars more, but they took off.
Oh, they're big money.
Yeah. The color combination.
And of course, the new Ford GT. At the time, I was building a new house, and I could have got one of those, and I turned it down. You know, all I had to do is drive in the driveway and show my wife the car and say, you can't have your kitchen of your dreams, but I got that nice car.
On the first GT, if it wasn't claustrophobic when you got in and felt that way, how was the performance if you shut your eyes and did away with all that?
I think the performance was really good. I mean, you know, but they had some problems. They had we fixed two of them that had got really crashed hard because if you drag raced it, let's say, and really popped the clutch, the engine moved so much in the right side lower hose in front of the wheel was on so little, so the hose was like cut short and was just put on there with a clamp. And when the engine rocked, the hose came off.
Wow.
Antifreeze dumped in front of the right rear wheel, and the thing went round and round. We fixed two of them that way. Yeah.
Damn.
Huh.
You know,
I
I
didn't hear
actually
that.
fixed one and one got totaled. But that was a big problem on the early cars. I think they were great, but I think I love driving by the seat of my pants, and you know, there's certain cars that really do it for me. We had a Porsche Turbo get traded it in on a Ferrari a couple of years ago. Brand new Porsche Turbo convertible, had 2,000 miles on it. And I said, "Oh, this is my driver for the summer. Man, I'm gonna love this." And I got in and I went up to Dunkin' Donuts. I came back and I gave my salesman the key. He says, "What's the matter?" I says, "It does everything right. It's boring. I hate it. You know, put your foot down. It goes.
Gotta have attitude. Yeah.
You know, it's got, you know, it just does everything right. It stops. That's not fun. You want to hope it stops.
Personality.
Well, you want the shit that I drive.
That's right. I mean, we drive these old cars, and you know, it's fun.
Yeah, you want the shit I drive.
You got to drive it all the time. I don't want a car that I turn the radio on. That's why electric cars, I don't know, they don't do it for me.
No, they don't. No.
Now, what do you think the future is on what's going to happen there? What's your gut tell you?
I just think that the infrastructure is not set up well enough where anything is going to happen for the next 20 years. It's going to happen one of these days, but commuter cars. And so I'm a member of the New England Motor Press Association. I get a new car to drive every Thursday, and I test them. And I've tested a lot of electric cars, and they are a blast to drive. I got to tell you, they're fun. I'm not a Tesla guy. I think it makes too much road noise in the car because they leave out so much insulation. Mm-hmm. But a new BMW electric is outrageous. The new Hyundai is so cool. They've got a boost button on a steering wheel.
No way.
Yeah. So you drive it and you hit this boost, and all of a sudden it just slams you back into the seat. It's cool.
How do I get on that program, Wayne, where I can get a car every week?
I don't know. I went to a dinner one night, and I was the guest speaker. And next thing you know, they gave me all the pieces of paper, and they said, "No, you're now the MC for the evening." And I had to give out all these awards and stuff. And so I said, "The least you could do is make me a member of your group." So they did. And so,
oh man,
yeah.
So before we go any further, being that you became the MC, so I got a call from Bob O'Gorman, and for people, I can't pass a test because I'm so dyslexic and a bunch of other stuff. So passing tests just doesn't work with me. So the school won't even talk to me about a full-time teaching position because I don't have any ASCs, even though I've done it forever, So this Bob it's like the national ASC conference coming up in July, and I'm going to be speaking at it.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to explain who Bob is. People don't know who Bob O'Gorman is.
Oh yeah. Well, so Bob O'Gorman is the Lift Institute guy. He's the one who makes sure your lifts are safe and all that. If your lift has a big bright yellow sticker on it, like half the size of your paper, that's Bob's deal. He's up in Cortland, New York, and
all right.
He had told me he was going to try and make this happen, but I never told him that I can't pass the ASC because I'm so dyslexic. It's not funny, but. He asked me today if I would speak, so I'm going to go speak.
While you're talking about lifts, I'll plug my lift company, Advantage Lifts. Advantage Lifts. I did a lot of work for them and Backyard Buddy, so really great lifts. Advantage Lifts. I have 16 of them in our shop, and doubles.
Did you move into another shop?
Yeah, I built another building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have 3 buildings now.
Damn it, Wayne! When did you build a new building?
Well, a few years ago.
Oh.
I don't know. Not that long ago.
Okay.
7-8 years ago.
Last time, John. We weren't privy to that information.
No.
It's been 2 years.
That's just part of business.
I understand.
That's just part of business. That's
Wayne,
that's not Lou talk.
Talk about Boca. What was Boca like? You were just there, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So Boca Raton Concours started, I think it was 17 or 18 years ago. And this gentleman, Rick Case, who owned a bunch of car dealers. He was actually the largest Honda motorcycle dealer in the country, and his wife was her family was the first Honda dealer in the country, and then they grew into this big, many different car lines.
Yeah.
And great family, and they do this to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County. And they have a big charity event on Saturday night, and they get a famous comedian comes in. Jay Leno's been there 3 times, and Howie Mandel was there. You know, just a lot of great comedians, and they raise well over $1 million every time. You know, they auction cars off. People donate cars. They auction watches. They really do a great job. Wow, so 13 years ago, Rick Case tracked me down to Pebble Beach and asked me to be the Grand Marshal, and I've been doing it for 13 years. So it's a nice, great event, and it's right before Amelia Island, so it gets me warmed up, and then usually I'm home for a couple of weeks. This time I came home on Monday. I plowed snow on Tuesday and flew back down on Wednesday for Amelia Island. So
slow down for a second. Give everybody a little taste of what it's like to be Wayne Carini when you're the Grand Marshal of one of these events. What's your day like?
It's a lot of getting up and shaking hands and taking pictures with people, giving autographs, that stuff. So chasing classic cars, we haven't talked about that. That's been on for 18 seasons.
Yeah.
We've done over 200, I think 214 or 15 episodes. We're in 100 countries around the world, and my voice is dubbed in 38 languages. So needless to say, there's a lot of people that know who I am.
One or two.
Valentino Balboni, who is the test driver for Lamborghini, says to me, he says, in Italy, he says, you're more famous than the Pope.
Really? How cool is that?
Go Wayne.
Pretty nuts. You know, people say that you're the car guy, you know, and so you know, very fortunate. Chasing Classic Cars is now in reruns on Motor Trend.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bob Scanlon, who started Motor Trend, which before that was Velocity, and then got sold to Motor Trend, and he started a network called Speed Vision with Roger Warner when they were both working at ESPN. And so he retired when Motor Trend took over, and my contract ran out last year. So he called me and said, how would you like to own your own TV network with me and a few other guys? And so we now own Speed Vision. We got the name. The copyright was sort of floating in midair. Nobody had claimed it. And so we got it. And now we have our own television network. We got some really great funding, got a lot of great partners. Craig Jackson's a partner, and Goldberg is a partner, and you know, Mark Warman. So yeah, Bob McKee from McKee's Wax, he's partner. So got a lot of great partners in it, and we're moving forward. So we just did a deal with Amazon TV. It'll be streaming on there. It'll be streaming on Roku, Fubo, all these streaming services, and then we're looking for a linear deal right now, or to buy something that exists.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that kind of stuff, people get to know you. Sort of like Lou. Lou can't go anywhere without being mobbed by women, you know, young girls. You know, they all want his autograph.
That's back when he had hair.
What Lou you hanging out with? Totally confused by this.
All I've seen is a bunch of guys, grease monkeys. Let me show you my Chevelle.
I don't know what Lou Wayne is talking about.
I see any chicks.
That'd be my stunt double.
Well, with Lou, they don't approach him. He approaches them.
Well, yeah.
If he sees a crowd of people, he just runs for it. He goes, "Hey, it's Lou."
You see, they took away his spine. His body and his spine is gone from last year.
Well, he said he had back surgery. I think they removed everything from his neck down. Every once in a while, I can see his hands, but that's about it.
It's a good look, though.
I know what it's like, Lou. Though back problems are a big problem. I was sitting down day after Thanksgiving, putting my grandson's go-kart together, and I reached for a screwdriver and I ruptured a disc. And and that was Thanksgiving, and I'm still screwed up. So
yeah, dude,
yeah,
trust
it's
me.
not fun. It's not fun at all.
It's not fun. They fused me from T12 all the way down to S1.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm not going under the knife for anything. I'll limp around.
So here's the thing. It depends on how they do it. That's what makes the difference.
Yeah,
it really does, because they've changed the way they do it. And the guy who did mine did it, I guess it would be the new way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Wayne, when I woke up, the only thing I had was surgery pain.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's good because I went through 3 weeks of just severe pain and
yeah,
you know, until they finally figured out what it was. And then physical therapies really helped me out greatly.
Yeah.
But I've been on the road for the last 2.5 weeks and I haven't done it. So I got to get back into that routine.
Yeah.
It really works.
Yeah. And you got to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, it's just going to continue to get worse. You know? Yeah. But it's just
so yeah. So that's what's going on. I went to Amelia Island Concours. I was up there with all the auctions. I showed an MG airline coupe and just hung out and hung out with friends. It was really great. So, you know, when you've been tucked away for the winter and you finally get out and you see your friends again, your car friends, it really is. It's really a great thing, especially in a nice warm weather. It was 85 degrees every day and just beautiful.
You said that you showed an MG airline coupe. Is that the fastback one?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I never knew the name of it. That was the only thing that came to mind.
And then a year ago, I took delivery of I don't know if you've ever seen a Bugatti Type 51 Persang made in Argentina. So picture a vintage Grand Prix Bugatti from the 30s,
right?
Open wheel car and with those mag wheels, you know this company makes them in Argentina. Duplicates, you can't tell the difference. You take the engine apart, you can't tell one from the other.
Wow,
it's so good, so well done. They have a foundry. They make all their own parts there in Argentina. The cars, if you make something, it has to be made with products from Argentina. You can't import anything to build something. You have to make it yourself. So even the tires, when you get the car from Argentina, they have truck tires on them. Then you bring them over here, and we put Blockley English tires on it.
Dude, you got to send me a picture of that.
Yeah, it's outrageous. So I had it all last summer. It was delivered to me, and then we had a problem with the connecting rod after 500 miles. There it is. That's my car.
I've seen pictures of that. Yes.
Yeah, that's my car. Mine's just a little darker blue than that. We had a little problem with the connecting rod, and it was making some noise. So they were so good, they took the engine back. I shipped the car out to John Bothwell out in California that I bought it from. He took the engine out and put it in a crate, shipped it to Argentina. They built me a brand new engine, every component, the block and everything brand new. And they just shipped it back. John put it in the car, shipped it back from California to Florida. I took delivery again at the Amelia Island Concours, drove it around, had some fun, and shipped it home. It'll be here tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really cool car. I bought it, so I got a 7.5-year-old grandson that's really into cars, tractors, trucks, cars, motorcycles. Awesome. He loves everything. So I really want him to get the feel as to what it's like to drive a Grand Prix car from the 30s, because it's awesome. This thing's an 8-cylinder, twin overhead cam, supercharged. So it makes all the right noises. It's got power out the ass, and you know, it's so much fun to drift around and drive. That's just awesome. A cool car.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want Wayne, you got. I'm coming up to your part of the world in June.
Oh, cool.
So I'll probably give you a call, and you know, if you're in town,
I'll
kick some tires with you.
Yeah.
Is that for Bob's gig? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think I told you a friend of mine in Tina's, Trish. She's got cancer, and it's not going well. It's not responding to anything that they're throwing at it, and she's never been to Maine. So we're taking her to Maine.
Oh, to Maine. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but when I go to Maine from here, I run 81, go across what used to be the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and I go through Connecticut on some state highways, and then hit 95 and run up.
Yeah.
So
that's the way to do it.
I'll be somewhere around your neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
You have to go just up north of Agunquit is a bar, Bentley's. And Bentley Warren owns the place, and he was an Indianapolis driver. He was a Northeast stock car driver, and then got to run at Indianapolis. Bentley's the greatest guy. He and his girlfriend Lisa, they got a great bar, lots of fun. I go up there once a year to a car show and support him. So yeah, he's a ball. He bought one of my cars at a auction in Scottsdale a few years ago, and we became great friends.
Yeah, I'll have to stop up there.
Bentley Warren, yeah, Bentley's great fun. You'll love it. They have lobsters.
Wayne, you got a show in Greenwich in June.
Yeah, that's the Greenwich Concours. We're talking about being a Grand Marshal again.
Yeah,
so the Grand Marshal there. You know, it's a full-time job being a Grand Marshal.
That's what I'm saying. Lou's going to be there. Maybe you could put a something on his head.
We could have Lou as honorary judge or something. You know.
Oh God, I don't know if you want that.
June 2nd through the 4th. Lou, when are you going up? What's the date?
June. We're going. I think it's the 6th.
Yeah, we got to get up there early.
Stop in, man, because it's right off of 95, right in Greenwich. I mean, you get to the end of the exit and take a right, and it's right there.
There you go, Lou.
Yeah,
do this.
Come and see us because I'm gonna have. We're shipping 6 cars and 3 motorcycles from my collection. I'm gonna have my own class. Like, I guess if you got your own class, that means you win your class.
Yeah, you win. Yeah. I tell you what, though, I'll judge your class. How about that?
Okay, you can be the judge.
I can't guarantee that you win because I know you. Ethically, it might not be right for me to let you win.
That's okay. I've got a few cars in there that aren't mine; they're my grandsons.
Then we're okay.
Yeah, my grandson's cars. You can give
talk about that event. What else is happening there? What else?
So the event is a Haggerty-owned event now, and they're doing a fabulous job. They're going to have they have a lot of great cars like Lemons, Concours Lemons cars there. So that's the worst cars in the world type of thing. Radwood, which is cars from the 80s and 90s. They have so many Ferraris and classic cars. It's a great event. I've been going there. I don't know.
Going on?
30 years, I think now.
Oh, wow.
30, 35, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's right in our backyard, so it's sort of our home Concours. And then like Lime Rock is our home track, and I'll be up there Labor Day weekend for that one. There'll be a big Concours there on Sunday, and of course the vintage racing goes on all weekend.
Yeah,
and then all over the country. I'll be down Charlotte doing a show with Ray Evernham and the Smith family at the Motor Speedway,
and me.
Yeah, well, gotta have you come. You gonna come?
I'm hosting it.
April 15th.
Yes.
You gonna be there?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's the auto fair. I'll be there.
I'm going to be there. Yeah, Ray and I were on the phone today, hooking all that up. So what we're going to do there is we're going to have the Smith family Concours, and so we're going to bring 20 real high-end classic cars. There'll be the GT40, the one Le Mans out of Rob Kaufman's collection. And my buddy Ralph Moran will bring a few Packards. I'm going to be bringing the Rain Man Buick and a Lincoln that I won the best Lincoln at Pebble Beach with last year. So, yeah, all sorts of great cars. Great people. Yeah. Going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I've never been there, and I'm going back there again in the fall. I think it's September. They have another car show there in September.
Yeah, it's the auto fair. They do a spring and they do a fall.
Yeah, so they got me coming back in the fall too.
Yeah,
Lou, Nick from Amsoil is going to be there. He's going to be set up. I'm going to do a text where you guys are connected, so he has your number.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
He's going to be there, so you got to connect him.
I'm going to be bringing a few of my sponsor guys too. So Car Capsule. I don't know if you know Car Capsule, but Car Capsule is the enclosure, the blow up buildings. And so Phil Pataki will be there with Car Capsule. I'll tell you, I was at SEMA doing an interview with Craftsman one day at SEMA, and I looked across and I saw this bubble with a car in it. I said, man, that's the greatest freaking idea I've ever seen to protect your car, you know?
Yeah.
And I went over and talked to Phil. We talked for half an hour, and he says, hey, how would you like to be my front man and be the, you know, the representative of the company? And so bang, I've been doing it for, I don't know, I've been doing it for 9 or 10 years now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
cool.
He's a great guy and a great product. I love doing
I've
stuff
seen it.
with
I've
really
never
good
used it,
products.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got them here at the house, and I've got them down the shop. You know what we use it for at the shop is we'll do a complete restoration, and before the customer comes picks it up, we detail the car. But sometimes they don't show up for 3 or 4 days afterwards. You put it in there, and that's how you represent it. You know, the guy comes to pick his car up, and you show him the car. It's in this capsule, and it's dust free. It's
clean.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Wayne, talk about where you are right now. And talk about what have you picked up and put in your collection the last 2 or 3 cars?
Well, I'm actually in my studio, which is attached to it's in my barn. This was actually where I worked on a lot of my motorcycles, but I needed a bigger studio because we're doing a podcast now, and we're going to be doing a couple of new TV shows. So we're going to be doing one from here. I bought a crazy little car today, a mini moke. I don't know if you know what a mini moke is, but I bought an electric mini moke. I've sort of wanted one for a few years, and I saw one on Mark Hyman's site today, and I bought it. I didn't buy.
How many seater? 6-seater?
No,
How
4.
many seats?
It's a little 4-seater. It's like a big golf cart.
Wait. Stop. What the hell is a mini moke? What?
It's a little open car. No doors on it. You can just jump in it.
Florida.
It's like a
Florida
beach car.
Yeah.
It's like an overgrown golf cart.
Okay.
But we've got a big farm here, and it's great. My grandson just loves driving around and stuff like that. So
yeah,
he's a poor little kid. You know, he's got go-karts. He owns 15 of my cars, and I give him a new car every 2 years. They're in his trust. So he's got a 16 Pierce Arrow. He owns the Mole Speedway. So there's a moke.
Oh, that's a mini. Okay, I've seen those. I never knew what they were.
That's a mini moke.
Okay.
They're playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
Okay.
I remember.
I was talking about a Mustang GT, so I just bought one of those the other day, and then I bought an Ariel Square 4 motorcycle. I bought that actually in October and just got it. And the guy was doing some work to it, so it just got shipped to me.
What Mustang GT? The ones you were talking about?
It's 65. So I bought a candy apple red 65 GT. Beautiful car.
Where'd you pick that up? Where do you go to get your cars? Where do you look at?
That's coming out of California. Yeah. So
how did you find it? Somebody contacts you. What's that all about?
This is a great thing where this gentleman contacted me and said he had this car collection. His health wasn't the best, and he wanted me to help him sell his collection and donate all the money to the ASPCA. And so rather than go to auction, I said, well, let's start selling some of the cars. And I've got a customer that wanted to buy it. And instead the customer backed out, and I said, well, I think it's a good car, so I'll buy it myself.
So right there on the screen, Wayne said, what's the absolute worst car you owned and would not sell for any reason?
The worst car I own. I'd sell it in a heartbeat, but
that's what I figured. You know,
and it's not really the worst, but it's a car that, you know, like gum on your shoe. You shake it and it just won't come off your shoe.
Gum's a good word. Gum's a good word.
I got a Cosworth Vega, and it's a love-hate relationship. Yeah, and it's only got 200 miles on it.
Wow.
It's all original. I mean, I love it because I think that was a great car, a great concept, you know, putting Cosworth engine, developed engine in a little car like that.
Yeah.
And I think they look cool, but they were made so poorly. I mean, cars were so bad in that generation, you know,
they were
really bad.
Real bad.
I bought a bus, and I'm sure people can remember the episode. I bought this BMC bus out at RM auction, and so I go to see, I'm visiting the guy, and I'm sort of really interested in the bus. I said, how much do you think you're going to get for it? And he said, the guy that owns it, he says, oh, I wouldn't take less than 150 grand. I said, oh, thank God. I'm not going that much. So auction comes, and I'm just throwing my hand up in the air bidding, just playing around. And I get to $40,000. The guy bought 45 grand, and he seems to be really wanting it. So I bid 50 grand. And all of a sudden I look, and he walks out of the room. He said, no, one more bid. Come on, please, one more bid. And all of a sudden we are selling the bus, and slam, the hammer goes down.
Oh,
and I go, what did I just do? Oh my God. So, I mean, I hadn't been drinking, so we go out to dinner. I'm sort of thinking about, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning in a sweat. My whole body was sweating. I'm going, what did I do?
Yeah.
I mean, how am I going to get that thing home?
Yeah.
And so, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a huge amount of fun over the years. We took it on. Yeah, nobody else wants it.
Give it to the grandson. Give it to
There's
the
the Vega.
Yeah,
Vega.
Mine's black.
That's way back in the day.
Still though, it's the Vega.
It's cool. It's really cool. But we've had it for sale for a couple of years, and just every once in a while we get some people all hot to buy it, and then they just disappear. So
I like the Vega with the Camaro style with the split bumper front end. That's the Vega body.
That's like a 74, ain't it? The one he showed. I think you got to go back.
So.
Yeah,
you got to go back a couple of years, I think, for the.
See, I'd have to rip the drivetrain out and put something else in it.
Big block.
I couldn't leave it alone.
You don't see them. No, they're gone.
No.
That's not something that's way gone.
Because they rotted out.
People chopped them up. It was cheap. Yeah.
I'm more into, I don't know. I'm into hot rods lately. So I had Steve Moll build me a car. And I just bought George Poteet's 5-window coupe that Steve Moll built for George Poteet. So George is just such a wonderful guy, I tell you. He's tremendous.
Yeah.
Just a tremendous guy. Here's a guy.
I met him.
He's in his early 70s, and he went 487 miles an hour at Bonneville 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
487 in the Speed Demon. And unfortunately, he had flipped the Speed Demon over the previous one and broke his back.
Oh, really?
Like 7 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that.
I didn't know he got hurt in that crash.
And then last 2 years ago, when he did the 487, he pulled the chute, and the thing slowed down. So it crushed his bones in his body because of decompression, slowed down too fast, and broke his back again. So he can't shift the car anymore, unfortunately. So he's selling some of his standard shift cars, and I'm there, put my hand up to buy them. They're really great cars. But he went last year, tried to do it. Of course, he got rained out. So, but he just wants to go 500, and he's determined.
Right.
Go 500 miles an hour. He's the fastest piston-driven man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they all did it with rocket cars,
Yeah.
But a piston-driven. We were in his pit right after he made like his first run, and the engine had so much internal pressure that it blew out the valve cover gasket, and oil went all over the place, and it all caught on fire. So I said to George, I said, Jesus, how'd you know the car was on fire? He says, I smelled smoke.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
That's a really cool thing. When they pull the chute on these cars, especially streamliners, all the ice from the intercooler bucket, it's a huge tank, with ice to cool the air. It by the time you did that, it's all melted, and it dumps all the water from those containers in the engine compartment, puts whatever fire is in there out, sprays it everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But they'd melted the whole wiring harness and all the shifting modules and all that stuff. And he said, "Oh, not worry." He says, "I got a guy at the motel making a new wiring harness right now, and we got all the parts we need. We'll be on the salt tomorrow morning at 8:00 going again." These are guys that don't give up. I mean, he has a team of like 12 or 14 people.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew he had a big team.
He's serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a great guy.
I met George. I met George in 2004 in Pomona.
Yeah.
So I was staying at the hotel right there. So I go in the elevator and I saw, and when I was going in the elevator, I saw someone out of the corner of my eye. I didn't know it was George. So I just stuck my hand out because the door started to close. So the door opens back up. George walks in, and I put my hand and said, Mr. Poteet. He goes, Lou, I know who you are. There he is.
There's George before he gets in the car. And this is me kneeling next to the car as George is ready to take off. I mean, you can take a visual as to how low and how low that car is to the ground. He had just climbed in the car. He's in there right now in that picture. Yeah. It's quite a scene in there. There he goes, taking off. That's the Speed Demon.
That thing is so
that was an unbelievable experience going to Bonneville. Unbelievable.
When's that? September? When is it?
It's in August, just the same time a week before Pebble Beach. So we went out and we're there for 3 days. And we went to
going back out this year?
I hope so. If he's running, I'm going. I want to see him. I want to see him accomplish the mission.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
When will you know if he's running?
I don't know. The car is ready. The car was ready last year, so it's just a case of him wanting to go or not. So we'll see.
Yeah, we got to keep in a loop. We need to take the trip out, Lou.
Just to go. I mean, it's really something to see.
That's on my list of things.
It's a city out in the middle of nowhere, in the salt, and you can see the curvature of the earth. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it really is awesome.
I want to go.
Go into town, and they have hot rod shows at night. And everybody gathers together. It's a cool environment. Really great people.
Yeah, I want to go.
Wayne, is there any car that you own, no matter what somebody threw on the table and said, "I'll take it," you'd go, "No, thanks"?
Oh God, I think right now probably the Shelby GT350 because it's so hard to get one back. I didn't pay what they're worth today. So, and it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about the experience you have in the car.
Yeah.
So the mole, my mole hot rods, those are something special, especially the Speedway that Steve Mole built for me. It was custom fit to my body, my size. So, that's really special.
Right.
There's a lot of that stuff, unfortunately. Every time I say, well, let's see, we got to sell 20 cars. And I come in the garage or in the barn. And I go, well, I can't sell that. No, I probably will. Nah. The next thing we're just buying more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever met Shelby? You got any Shelby stories?
Carol was something else. I mean, it's really something. People come up to me and they'd say, "Hey, Carol, sign my glove box." Oh my God. I said, Carol would sign your underwear if you gave him $50. He was you probably know the greatest story about the Shelby GT350s, how, he had to get them certified. He had to have so many cars made. He had to have 200 cars, to get them so that you could go in that class of racing, whatever it was, A production or whatever it was. Right. And so the guy from the sanctioning body comes and they got 30 cars in this garage. And so the guy comes and Shelby shows him in. And the guy goes around, looks at the cars. Okay. Where's the rest of them? Oh, they're in another warehouse. Let's go to other warehouse. But before that, it's almost lunch. Let's go have lunch. Well, the lunch takes an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and then they drive to the location and the guy opens the door and he says, there they are again. He says, where's the other guy? Well, they're in another warehouse. He says, this is going to take all day. I believe you. Okay. Well, he really had only 30 cars. He moved it from one location to the other.
Yeah.
But he was a great, funny guy, with that drawl. I met him at an RM auction once. I sat right next to him. He said, "You got that TV show on, don't you?" I go, "Yes, sir." I like that show. It was a really funny guy. Our industry, we've got some really interesting people.
Oh yeah.
Don Williams, unfortunately, just passed away a couple of days ago, but he started this thing with classic cars and with car auctions. He was together with, Tom Barrett and Craig Jackson's father, and started the Barrett Jackson auctions. And he put together the Black Hawk collection out in California, really unbelievable collection of cars.
Yeah,
he was the perfect salesman too. So I always remember, he always tells me this story. He says, I get guys that come in and they waste my time for almost all day looking at a car, test driving it. And then they'd say at the end of the day, well, are you ready to sign up for it? He said, I got to go home and talk to my wife. He says, next time, bring your wife.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Go talk to your wife. That's an excuse to say, I'm not coming back. Blame it on your wife.
Yeah.
Weak.
And it's funny. We aren't open on Saturdays for that reason. People will come in and they'll say, well, I'll wire you the money on Monday. Well, the banks aren't open on, Saturday afternoons. And so they get, a free pass to money. By Monday, they've talked to their wife, they've talked to their cousin, their uncle, they slept on it. And they go, I don't think I want that car. So we don't even open on Saturdays. They're all tire kickers.
Yeah.
Gives them a way out.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
So Wayne, what's next for you?
We've got a couple of new TV shows, our podcast. So we got a podcast, Talking Classic Cars. My other host is Jay Ward from Pixar Studios. He was the head of the Cars movies. So Jay's a really great guy, great hot rodder. So he and I do a podcast that will appear on Speed Vision online. So we're doing the shows, we're recording them, and then we're going to put them all, probably about 15 or 20 of them out at once. I have a new show, On the Road with Wayne Carini, where I go out and talk to people about their collections, their cars. And it doesn't even have to be about a car. Trains, model car collections. I've got a guy we're going to film with, and he's got over 3,000 model cars all displayed. He has 2 houses full of wall-to-wall, every room model cars. So we're going to be doing a thing with him. There's a train guy out in Seattle area that's got all model trains in his house. The whole house is taken up with model trains, and unfortunately he passed away. Now his daughter's trying to sell them, so we're going to go talk to her. There's a farmer that's got 500 head of cattle out in the Midwest that's got a car in the garage that his dad bought in 58 and hasn't been out since 62. So I'm going to go out and actually farm with him and feed the cattle for a day. And then he said, if you come out and see what I do and help me out, I'll show you the car. So interesting things like that. You ever remember the show On the Road with Charles Kuralt?
Yep.
Where we'd go out and just interview people, just anybody at all. I've always wanted to do a show where I take a map, I throw a dart at a map, and I hit a little town. You go to that town and you go to the diner or you go to the barber shop and you say, who's the biggest car collector in town? And go and interview that person as to how they got started.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting, I think.
The backstory. Yeah.
That's cool.
Wayne, you remember the old commercial E.F. Hutton says?
Yep.
Where people would go,
right.
Got a question.
Right.
After I'm done the 64, the Sticky Green Love Machine, I'm thinking 5960 Cadillac convertible.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on
60.
the future?
60.
You like the 60?
I'm not in love with the big fins. No. I like them, but I don't love them. I'm more of the sleek 61, 62. 62 is just a killer car.
Yeah.
With the fins
I had a
on the
60
bottom.
when I was a kid. When I was 21, I had a triple white 60 Cadillac convertible I got out of Philadelphia.
Wow.
When I pulled it out of the guy's garage, he was actually crying because he didn't want to see the thing go.
I had a 60 Coupe de Ville white with a white and black interior in it, and it only had 12,000 miles. I'm an idiot. I bought it for $12,000. Some guy come up to me and offered me 18, and I sold it. Oh yeah,
sold. I made money.
Yeah.
So what do you think the future is? Do you think that the age, because a lot, some of the older cars are starting to come down, then they bounce back up. Do you think it's because of the age group? And what do you think that the future is for the 5960 or early?
I think that's a really great car, and Cadillacs are and not to bash any other GM cars, but Cadillacs are the pinnacle. They were made better. Their quality was so superior. You drive a Cadillac from 1962, and then you go drive a 62 Chevy. Just not the same, you know.
Or Lincoln.
I mean, anything.
Realistically, I had a 62 Lincoln not long ago. I had a 60 Cadillac when I was a kid. It had the guy shot the engine compartment in lacquer and hand rubbed it. When I was at a stoplight, you could not tell that car was running. Yeah. It was so smooth. It felt like you shut it off.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm thinking, I had the 60. I'm thinking 59. And I was talking to a guy the other day about the conversion. If I can't find a convertible that I want to chop up and put an LS motor or do whatever, I'm not sure where I want to go yet. But I'm thinking maybe dropping the convertible into a coupe.
You could do that. I mean, you know, you could still find.
Is that taboo in your world? Is that taboo?
No, listen. If you're putting an LS in it, it doesn't matter. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and LSs are so bulletproof, and I'm a Ford guy more than GM guy.
Okay.
But you know, Poteet, most of Poteet's cars, and he's a Ford guy, but most of his cars have LS engines in them. They just look like Ford engines.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big believer. Just put an LS in it and get it over with. It's such a bulletproof and such a great engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you customize that car, resto mod it. I mean, those things are beautiful cars to look at and drive. You know, put bags in it or something.
I don't know what I want to do, but I'm looking for something after this, after I'm done the Impala. Even though the Impala is sort of ghetto, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's good. As long as you're having fun and enjoying it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people say, why did you buy that or why did you do that? It's because I like it. That's all. I got no excuse like, hey, somebody else likes it, and I think that's cool. If he likes it, I don't really care if anybody else likes it.
One more thing before we let you go, Wayne. The current Shelby cars.
Yeah.
They have they're doing a tribute anniversary. I was talking to a guy the other day. A Shelby, I don't know which one it is, but they'll take you buy your GT.
Yep.
They'll outfit it with theirs. You think as far as an advance handing a car off to them, less than 200 or 200 cars that are made. What do you think that is? That something?
So they just had at Amelia Island. They just had their show there. They showed all their cars. So they do a little speedster with the a little fiberglass over the back seat. Looked really good. They do a wide body. They've got quite a few. And to tell you the truth, if you look at the car for what it costs, I think they were asking like 140, 145 for the cars.
Yeah,
it's a lot of car for the money. And the new Shelbys. I mean, I've got a GT500, a 22, and then I've got a GT350R I bought because Jim Farley said they're never going to make another standard shift car, and of course they started doing it again after that. So thanks, Jim. But I mean, I love them. I think I'm selling the GT 500, and I'm going to keep the 350R. I'm going to start driving it.
Do you think the new H has any value, or is it just a duplicate of the 60s?
If you're an H collector, but other than that, I mean, it's going to be a black and gold car. I mean, they're cool. I think a 66 H standard shift is a really cool car. I've got a Z06 Corvette on their order. So I've had two Corvettes, new C8s. I love them. Great car. But I was able to order the Z06, and hopefully that'll be in the next 2-3 months. I got a silver red gut. Nice car.
I hate to sound like Columbo, but one more thing.
Yeah.
Guy says the car market staying strong, or is it going to drop off?
Staying strong.
Think so?
Staying strong. Hey, we had a little blip, but you know, the housing market is a little goofy at the moment.
Yeah.
Stock market is a little goofy. Interest rates are way up. When you're not making money in the stock market and you're not making the money in the housing market, where do you put your money? You put it in cars. You put it in cars, and you know,
things you can touch.
Solid asset, right? So you want to be able to go out and touch it, look at it. But my recommendation is this: if you buy a car for that reason, don't buy it because somebody told you to buy it. buy it because you want it. Because if the world goes to zero tomorrow and you go out in your garage, you better like what you got, because it may not be worth anything, but you better like it. And so I think that's really good advice.
It is.
Yeah, that is.
Definitely is.
Like what you drive, or what you invest in.
All right, so Wayne, tell everybody, all the social media, wherever they can get a hold of you if they need to.
Facebook on so Wayne Carini TV.com. We've got F40.com. We've got Wayne Carini on Facebook, Instagram. I don't really do that. I've got a couple of really talented guys that do all that stuff for me. I'm not a guy that answers that stuff back. I'm too busy. I wake up. Podcast is going to come on Speed Vision. It's going to be part of the Speed Vision brand. And so we're talking actually with XM Radio right now to have a Speed Vision podcast channel on XM Radio. So lots of really cool things going on. Not chasing anymore, which is giving me a little break, but about to start taping on the road, and just having some fun, buying and selling cars. Summer's here. We're going to take the cars out, go for rides. Go to some hot rod shows, some buddies, doing some things. I've been on the road for filming the show for 18 years, actually close to 20 years now. And to be away, my average travel was 185 days a year over the last 18, 19 years. And it's time to slow it down to maybe 120 days a year. So
yeah.
When you get to the hotel at night, you go, what room am I in anyways? I forgot. They don't have a key anymore with a room number on it. So I take a picture of the room in my camera. It's true.
Yeah. Hey.
And I try to stay in the same hotel so the room is the same, because I sleep in total darkness. And so you get up and you whack yourself on the coffee table or something, you fall down. It's easier to get at the room. So all the rooms are the same, and you know where the bathroom is. It's an important thing.
Lou, when is Charlotte? When you guys are going to hook up?
Charlotte's April 13th through the 16th, I think it is.
Yeah, I believe that's
April.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up fast.
16th. It's coming up. It's 5 weeks. Ray Evernham and I were talking about
it's close. It's right around the corner. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
The 13th through the 16th.
Yeah. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. The Concours will be on the Sunday, but we're coming into town, I think, on Friday. Going to go to some race shops. I was with Jeff Gordon the other night down at Amelia, and so we're going to go hang out with him and do
we were going to get Jeff for the podcast. Actually, Ray was on. I think you saw in the preview.
I saw the preview. Yeah. Ray's a good guy. He was
on December. Yeah, pretty cool interview.
He's a great guy. His wife grew up in Massachusetts, not far from us. So Erin is a big fan of mine, and so I guess they were going to visit her parents, and she said, "Oh, I have to stop by and see Wayne." And so I see him in my showroom on the telephone. I said, "Ray Evernham's here. What the hell's he doing here?" I said, "Ray, what are you doing here?" He says, "It's not me. Erin, my wife, is a big fan of yours." He says, "I like it too, but we become really, really solid friends." He's such a good guy. I have an autistic daughter, Kimberly, and she's 34 now, and he's got an autistic son, Ray, and so we cling together because of that. It's always good to have somebody that you can bounce things off. We have plenty of friends with autistic children, but yet Ray's a very special guy.
Yeah,
he was a great guest.
He enjoyed the show.
Yeah, he was a good interview.
He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to be with.
Yeah. We had Mario Andretti on about 2 weeks ago. He was actually he was tight at the beginning, but loosened up when he figured out we're two idiots that you could trust and let things go. It was actually pretty good. Mario's a legend.
I met Mario at the Indy 500 one year. So I real quick story. I'm down at Mecum Auction in Kissimmee one year, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "This Big wants to have lunch with you." Big? I'm going, okay. Where is he? He was at the restaurant. Come on, follow me. So I go over, and it was Garlitz. He's sitting there, and so we have lunch. We're talking, And so like 3 weeks later, my secretary comes in my office and she goes, "There's a guy on the phone. He won't tell me anything else that it's big." I said, "Oh, I know who it is." So I picked the phone up. I said, "Big, what is it?" He says, "Ocala, a week from next Saturday. Be there." And he hangs the phone up. What's that about? So then his friend calls me up. He says, "Big wants you at the awards banquet dinner. He's going to sit you with Warren Johnson and Bill Simpson and all these guys." I said, "Hey, I'll be there." So I went down and I met Bill Simpson. What a panic he is! Oh my God, or was. And so he said, "I want you to be my guest at the Indy 500." So I went for 3 years and was his guest. And he has a condo on turn 2. That's even with the track. I mean, they look like they're going to drive right into the condo. He's got a little deck out front. Yeah. And we watch the races. I mean, I've been very lucky. A lot of people don't know, but I was just a paint and body man restoring cars for years. Yeah. I knew a lot about cars. My dad restored cars when I was growing up, and I got all my knowledge from my dad. And then I got an opportunity to do a TV show, and I thought, yeah, sure, like this is going to last. And, to become this famous person in the car industry, it just blows me away every day. I still can't believe it that it happened to me. I just wish it happened like 30 years previous, but that's what happens. I got Chasing did very well with 18 seasons, so we've done well.
Wayne, we forgot to talk about your book before we roll, because I'm thinking as you're talking, there's a whole lot of story there.
So we've got
your life story.
So we've got this book. It's Wayne Carini's Guide to Affordable Classics. Just give you a little guide as to maybe what to buy, how to get your foot in the door with collecting cars.
There you go.
We got our own magazine now. It's Wayne Carini's The Chase. That's a great magazine. Yeah. You can get all this stuff on our website. And then I have we're just getting ready to publish my book. It's Wayne Carini, My Life with Cars.
There you go. As you're saying, as you're talking, there's a lot of stories there.
Great stories.
Yeah, no shit. It ain't easy being Wayne. It should be. It ain't easy being Wayne.
I've been around this business for my whole life. I did nothing else. My dad had chosen this for me. When I graduated high school, I didn't want to do this, so I went to school to become an architect. And I found out after the first semester that wasn't for me. So I graduated art education and couldn't find a job I liked. Went back to work for my father, and it's all worked out. I'm a very lucky person, very lucky person. But luck is preparation meets opportunity. When you're prepared and somebody gives you an opportunity, you take that opportunity, and I think that's luck.
Yeah, yeah.
I was lucky enough to meet Lou Santiago.
That's SEMA.
Scary.
Scream.
I mean,
the head. Look at the head. The floating head.
Floating head. And lucky enough to be here and really see this live and in person, the floating head.
Heard all about
all right. I gotta tell you a quick story and then we gotta leave. So at my friend Vinny's wedding, I met this gentleman, super nice guy. Butch, and he's got Parkinson's. I mean, bad, but the guy is still sharp as a tack. He was a salesman, and when he came into the rehearsal party, the dinner, he introduced himself to everybody, right? And he's from LA, Lower Alabama, and so the next night I see him at the reception, and when I leave, I go to him. I said. Butch, let me tell you, I said, I normally wouldn't do this for a guy like you because I know you've probably seen it all, but I got to give you some advice. And I believe it's good advice to live by. He goes, well, Lou, what's that? I said, first of all, you have to be too dumb to be scared. Second of all, just because a woman gives a blowjob in a phone booth, that doesn't make her a call girl. And third, never make a hooker a housewife. And he goes, you know what, Lou? I think I could use that advice.
Well, John, it's been nice being with you too, and thanks so much for having me on. And
I was going to talk to you about the doctor in Philly because I'm outside of Philly. Last we talked about, but the doctor is passed, right?
Oh yes, Dr. Simeone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Fred was just a great great human being. He was so. It was funny. My wife and I were at Pebble Beach one year, and I introduced her to Dr. Simeone. And I said after he left, I said, "What do you think he does for a living?" And she goes, "I don't know. Is he a construction guy? Is he a garbage man?" I said, "No, he's the top neurosurgeon in the country."
Yeah.
When neurosurgeons have problems with their brains, they come see him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was it. And then, but he had a great story. His father was also a doctor, and his father had a love for cars like crazy. So he and Fred would, talk about cars all the time. So Fred made a list of all the cars he wanted to own, and he put them on magnets, and he put the magnet strips on the refrigerator. And as he bought cars, he would remove the magnets. So he told me the story how he got home. It was like 2:00 in the morning from surgery. And he's sitting there having a bowl of cereal, and he looked over the refrigerator, and there was no more magnets. The chase was over, So, but he created this foundation. It's a foundation. His daughter's in charge of the foundation, and he's got some of the best racing cars in the world. The theme of his museum was racing started it all. Competition started it all.
Yeah.
Without competition, there would be no motor cars in this world, because it was competition is what drove the cars to be built.
Yeah.
So he was a wonderful guy.
States.
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't made it over. If you ever come down this way again, Wayne, we'll come up. We'll go through.
Oh, you got it.
You know what I mean? We'll check it out.
It's really fantastic. And he was one of the guys in our family. If we had any medical problems, I'd get directly on the phone with Fred and get his opinion and send him the x-rays or whatever it was. I mean, just a wonderful man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Make
sure you go see the Simeone Museum. It's fabulous.
Cars bring people together, guys. Cars bring people together.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
hey,
look,
Lou,
we got to go. Wayne,
listen, wait a minute. Before I let you go, Lou, if I were to see that head flying across the United States, I'd shoot it down too. Look at that.
I thought that was a Chinese balloon.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that cartoon? You see that cartoon where they had the picture of the balloon, and on the top it says, "Well, we've been looking for you. Your car warranty is almost up."
I haven't seen that one.
Wayne, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks. Great conversation.
Yeah,
sure,
Wayne, we'll talk.
We'll see you in April, bud.
All right, later. There you go, John Wayne.
And he also, for people
I forgot all about Steve Mole. He builds some nice stuff. I need to see if we can get him, because he's a coach builder, man. He's a coach. He builds.
Wait, one thing. Something people didn't see prior to the show. You, me, Wayne were talking about Foose, because Foose didn't pick a date. He's always quiet, hot, cold, hot, cold. Wayne texts Foose. 2 seconds later, bling. Sorry, guys. So
I know.
Wayne's the king.
I know.
Wayne's got dragged.
He's the man.
So how cool is that? And he's like, yeah. So because we're running out of dates. We're trying to figure out who's who and what's going on.
I know.
Dates.
Trying to get him on.
Yeah.
Gotta get him on. All right. Well, look, man.
Money's on the dresser.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week we have Shorty, Iron Resurrection. He has his own show now on Motor Trend. The name escapes me, but we'll get it all straightened out. So until then, keep it between the lanes. Later.